Hi everyone, my name is Luisa. I am a cosmetic chemist and the founder of Luisa True Skincare, which is, as the name suggests, a skincare line. I am on a mission to educate as many people as I can on skincare, and today's videos is about layering the products, which means that by the end of this video you're gonna be able to go to your bathroom cabinet, take out all the skincare products you have and know exactly what to apply first and what to apply last. Let's dive in right after the intro. In this video, I'm also gonna answer the question why is it important, or if is it actually important to know the order and apply the products in a certain order, and what factors do play a role into making a skincare products effective or not. For example, does the pH of the products has an impact on the order, or I can just layer products depending on how I feel that day? To clarify, I have to say that first of all, layering the products in the right order is not about making them more effective, but it's more about the feel on the skin. Meaning that worst case scenario, you messed up the orders, the products are still gonna be effective. Probably they are not gonna be as effective as as if you were doing everything right. I'm just gonna explain you later why that happens, but there's still gonna be benefits, okay? So if you are a beginner, you're just starting your skincare routine, do not feel too stressed about this. There's not really much that you need to stress about. So I said that how we layer products, it's important from a feel on the skin standpoint, because if, for example, if we apply a moisturizer which is very rich and thick before water-based serum, what happens is that the water-based serum might not be directly in contact with the skin right away. It's not gonna be absorbed as quickly, just because the moisturizer kind of like makes a barrier on the skin, and also you won't feel the water evaporating so fast, and therefore you won't feel the typical freshness that you feel when you apply water-based serums, which are also known as gels. But again, the serum is still gonna be effective. It's just not gonna be you're just not gonna have all these ads on that just make the experience more positive and pleasurable. How about the pH? Does it really matter, the pH, when it comes to layering the product? Should you follow like going from lower pH to higher pH, or it doesn't matter? In this case, I have to say that it really doesn't matter, and especially because most of the products have a very close pH level. So again, do not stress too much about this, because it does not play a role. So I consider this completely negligible, and you can just every time you read something like that, just skip, okay? Now let's go into details about the products, so I can teach you which one you should use first and which one you should use last. General rule. This rule is a guideline, and this rule that I didn't create, but it's just how it is. It says that you should apply products from the thinnest to the thicker. So we excluding the cleanser, which like we said, like we see, it can be a little bit of everything. There are some cleansers that are very thick and some that are just liquid or watery. So besides the cleanser, we are gonna go from the less viscous, which also means more liquid, to the solid one. Solids one are the creams, and we are gonna go from, even with the creams, we are gonna go from the lightest to the richer and richest, and to the thickest one. Okay, those are, for example, night creams usually are more rich than daily moisturizers. Okay, so when it comes to the cleanser, you mainly have three kinds of cleansers. You can have a micellar water, you can have the typical water-based cleanser, and you can have an oil-based cleanser or balm. Especially if you wear makeup, you should be using two cleansers, just because sometimes it's very hard to remove makeup just by using the micellar water or the water-based foaming cleanser. So I always recommend, if you wear makeup, to use at least two. So what order should you use? Okay, if you are using the micellar water and the oil-based balm cleanser, then you have to use the balm first, and then you're gonna rinse it off and eliminate every other residue of makeup with and other impurities with the micellar water. But if you have dry skin, I actually recommend the opposite. So you're gonna first clean off the majority of the impurity with the micellar water, and then you're gonna use the balm oil cleanser. Having this oil, some residue of oil, will really help you with the skin dryness. So if you have dry skin, this is what I recommend, but vice versa, it's better the other approach that I told you before. If you are using a water-based cleanser and an oil-based cleanser, you basically do the same thing. You're gonna apply the oil cleanser first, and then rinse it off, adding some water together with the water-based foaming cleanser. But again, if you have dry skin, you are gonna do the opposite. Just because if you have dry skin, I want to give you a little bit more of moisture that you need. So having the oil, which are very emollient, will really help you feel the skin that is soft, even though it might be dry. So now that your skin is clean, this is always gonna be the first step, no questions about it. All products must be applied on clean skin, so no matter what you're using, your first step will be to cleanse. Now, step number 2 will be applying a serum. As I said, there are different kinds of serums. Some are in the form of gels, some can be straight oils, some can be even lightweight creams, and some are just liquid, water-based liquid. So how do you know what to apply first, and what order to follow? As general rule, number 1, do not stress too much. Number 2, as I said before, we want to go for the most liquid to the less. Okay, so we are gonna apply first serums that are, for example, they come into a dropper, because these are usually super liquid. For example, water-based, for example, The Ordinary, or even my own hyaluronic acid serum that comes in a dropper bottle. Should be applied first, right after you clean the skin. After that, you can apply lightweight serums that are opaque, which means they have the same formulas as creams. It's just they are super lightweight, so you can actually apply those right after the liquid serum. Now, I already know what you're gonna ask me next, and what if I have two serums that are both liquid, right? Okay, don't worry about that. You can, what I do is either I mix 1 or 2 drops of each and apply together if I want to, if I am in a hurry, Or I can just apply the first, then after a few seconds apply the second one, but I do not follow a precise order. But I do follow an order when it comes to viscosity. Again, go with the most liquid and then layer up with the one that's a little bit more, that has more consistency. Usually serums that have more consistency, they are like cream, they come in bottles with no dropper. There's gonna be a small pump. It could be an airless pump bottle or just a regular bottle, but you see that when you apply, you see that it's more like a cream, and so it's just less liquid basically. I'm sure you understand, so let's do not spend too much time on this. Different story is for serums that are liquid but are oil based. These are, for example, straight oils, like again The Ordinary sells, I think, squalene, or the Drunk Elephant, they sell marula oil. These oils are considered serums, but in reality are oils, and should be applied last to give, if you want, some extra glow. So when I say last, I mean that you need to apply them even after the moisturizer. In fact, the third step after the serum is to apply the moisturizer. So again, cleanser, serums, water-based, and then lightweight creams, serums, lastly a moisturizer. So this really gives you the most results by following this order. You're gonna make sure you do everything the right way. So moisturizer, there are basically moisturizer formulas are all the same, meaning that they are creams, kind of like they have a more structured texture, they have more consistency, no matter what kind of moisturizer we are talking about. So the moisturizer is gonna go at the end, whether you are using an oil-free moisturizer or a moisturizer that's super rich and contains oil, or again a night cream, which is called night cream, but you know, it's just marketing. It's just a very thick, rich moisturizer. So even at night, the night cream apply last after the serums. Once you are done with these skincare products, you basically have two options. You can apply an SPF on top of the moisturizer, or use a moisturizer with SPF, or if you use makeup, just apply as makeup with SPF. Eventually, if you like to use a primer before applying foundation, I do, because it just makes applying foundation a lot easier. If you are like me and apply the primer right after the moisturizer and before the foundation. If again you are even more like me, which I don't use a moisturizer every day because I don't actually need it every day, I go directly from the serums to the primers and then the foundation. Also because many primers are formulated in a way that contain silicones and other occlusive ingredients, so they're still gonna give you a little bit of the benefits of the moisturizer without like make your skin like layers and layers and layers of product. Okay, personally I don't want my skincare routine to take 30 minutes just because I have other things to do. But I still want to take care of my skin, and this is how I do it. Now let's talk about briefly about products that we don't use all the time. So how can we incorporate those in our routine? So let's start from the exfoliants. Remember that you shouldn't be using an exfoliant more than 2-3 times a week. I would say maybe more 2 than 3, but I know no one likes this advice, so if you want to do 3, okay, but I think 2 is better. If it's a physical exfoliant, you can just apply it as a cleanser. In particular, I like physical exfoliant that are also cleansers. or you can just buy alumina powder and add it to your cleanser. So this is gonna be exfoliation and cleaning in one step. Vice versa, if you want to use an exfoliant that is a chemical exfoliant, meaning that it's a cream or a serum that contains glycolic acid or lactic acid or other exfoliant, and are leave-on products. I like to apply this as first step right after cleaning. So again, everything needs to apply on clean skin. So what I do, I just clean my skin, apply the exfoliant, and then if I want to, I apply the serum. It's possible that maybe that day that you are applying the exfoliant, your skin might feel a little bit more dry than usual. So in that case, it's very important that you know, you apply the moisturizer and especially the SPF. The SPF is very important in this case because some of these acids can make your skin more sensitive to the sun. So apply them at night or wear a sunscreen throughout the day. How about masks? Masks, if they are like clay masks or mud masks, so masks that have the purpose of detoxifying and purify the skin, you can apply those even before the cleaning step and then rinse them off. They will actually clean your skin. And vice versa, if they are hydrating masks, I would recommend that you apply those on clean skin. So you're gonna clean first, then apply the mask, then you might want to apply a serum if with an active ingredient, if you use retinol, etc., etc. But there's no need to apply on top of the after the mask another moisturizer. You can just skip to the SPF, or if you know, sometimes I apply the mask on Sunday morning and then I'm not gonna go out that day, so I don't even apply the SPF. I just keep my routine super short. This is it for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you have any question, let me know in the comments below. And if you found value in this video, please share it with a friend. Talk to a friend about me, okay? I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.